Two important data releases came out today, the ECB Rate Decision and the Bank of England Rate Decision. My colleague Natalie MacDonald is doing a special on the ECB release, so if you haven't seen that already, you can watch it here on Dukascopy TV. Hello, I'm Thomas Taplin, and sticking with the BOE though, and no sooner did Mervyn King halt stimulus measures, he's fired them up again with a £50 billion QE boost. Well, with me on the line to discuss this is Sales and Marketing Director of City Credit Capital, Rob Gray. Rob, just talk us through this a little. This ratings release hasn't come as much of a surprise, has it?
Well, they've decided to pump another 50 billion in of quantitative easing. I think a lot of it is really down to the fact that the economy has just not gone anywhere for the last year and a half. And you know, there's obviously a concern there. Some of the numbers that have been coming out recently we've just gone back into a recession officially. So I think there's a concern there that you know, manufacturing is not producing enough either. So they're probably thinking, well, let's just put another 50 in. I think there's a couple of analysts that were expecting 75. So you know, it's pumped it up to 375 from 325. So the concern is that we're not actually going anywhere.
There was some talk this QE announcement should have been higher than the 50 billion originally forecast. Was this to pave a smoother way for future QE?
I think so. I think there's probably, you know, there's a general view that rates will stay as they are in the UK at least until 2014. And if that's the case, then there could be continued quantitative easing going forward. There was a few people talking about a 75 billion increase. They've gone for 50. They may even be thinking now, oh, maybe should we have done 75? The BOE at their next meeting could be looking at increasing the quantitative easing even further.
Now, China announced a cut in its one-year lending and deposit rates. This must have come as quite a surprise to the BOE.
Well, obviously there's a lot of trade between us and China and the rest of the world and us and the rest of the world. And I think really, I think they'd have liked to have known that China were going to do that before they made their decision. But I think what we're seeing really is we're seeing a global effort to bringing up the global economy rather than maybe just looking at the UK or just looking at Europe. We've made a decision, China's made a decision, and if you look at the markets right now, no one out there trading has actually made a decision. We've seen a couple of spikes of 30 basis points or so in sterling or FTSE and Eurodollar, but what we're looking at here is no one's going to make any decisions until all announcements are made, and it looks like a consolidated effort by the larger nations, the larger economies, to pump money in, and whether that be China or ECB or the UK, at least we're all making an effort to boost the economies of our own countries.
And finally, this ongoing rate freeze really just isn't good for UK savers, is it?
No, and it's not great news for people that have got that are retiring and maybe putting their money into an annuity for pensions. That's another key factor. It's not just savers; it's people that are coming to the end of their careers and taking their pensions now and getting pretty poor rates or returns on their capital. So it is an issue. However, you know, it's very, very important that we boost the economy, get businesses working again. There's a lot of small businesses out there that will need this cash. The banks have to lend it to the small businesses. They can't start stockpiling it or keeping it for as they were when the first wave of QE went through. It's important that the Bank of England impress upon these banks that they lend it to small businesses, get that economy going at good rates. All those small businesses that are out there in the British economy or even the European economy need some of this money to help develop themselves and get the economies going again.
Well, thanks for that, Rob, for your analysis on the Bank of England rate decision. Don't forget to check back for the latest interviews and updates here on Dukascopy TV. Until next time, though, goodbye.